guys, so today I'm going to do a little guitar lesson on the solo to Southbound by Thin Lizzy. So this is the live version of Live and Dangerous. This is the sort of the classic version that I always listened to when I was a kid. And so the solo from in the studio was a little bit different. It's not super different, but for me, I prefer this one. So I thought I'd teach this one to my students, and I discovered that there isn't a lot of stuff out there on the live version of this, and some of the tabs out there are a little bit incorrect. So I thought I'd go over this. I did a little bit of a transcription of the solo, and I thought I'd go over it so I can give you an accurate version of the solo and develop it into a lesson. Okay, so for this one, so the whole tune is in A major, and then we're tuned down a half step, but I'll just speak as if we're tuned in standard. So the whole song, you'll notice just from the main riff that the notes use the notes of the A major scale: A, B, C sharp, D, E. So all those notes are in A major. So the main scales that we're using here are the A major pentatonic scales. Now, if you're not used to your major pentatonics, there's a little easy trick to get into them. So the minor pentatonic will work over a major chord progression. So if you're in A major, say you're here on the 5th fret A, if you go down 3 frets to F sharp, that's the relative minor. This chord, you'll see this in songs that are in A major a lot. You'll see the F sharp minor. It's in actually at the chorus you hear. So that F sharp minor, that's the relative minor. So from that we get the F sharp minor pentatonic, and the F sharp minor pentatonic uses the same notes as the A major pentatonic. So if you know the F sharp minor pentatonic, you can use that scale to get you into this. So okay, we're starting up here on the 17th fret on the B string, and we're bending up a whole tone. Okay, then we strike it again. So we hold that for 2 beats. Then we strike it again and release the bend. Okay, then 14 on the B, 16 on the G with a bend up. Then we strike that string again and release the bend. And then we play 14 with a big vibrato. And then this is so if you listen to Thin Lizzy, the vibratos are really kind of distinctive. Kind of quite big, large vibratos, and a little bit slower. Like that. It's not like that. It's a little bit slower. Okay, then 16 on the D, 14 on the D, 16 on the D, then 14 on the G, 16 on the D, 16 on the G, 14 on the G with a bit of a vibrato, then 16 on the G, then 14, then 16 with a bend, then 14 on the B, then 14 on the high E, okay, then 17 on the high E, then 14 on the high E, then 17 on the B, and then 14 on the high E. Okay, so that's the first 4 bars. Let me just play that through for you. now we get to the next little section. Okay, so it's so we're going to be playing 16 on the high E. Okay, then 14 and 17 on the B. Then we play 14 on the high E, but with a hammer-on pull-off to the 17. Very quick on that one, as quick as you can do it. Then 17 on the B, 14 on the E, 17 on the B, then 14 hammer on to 15 on the B, 14 on the B, 16 on the G, then 14 with a bend up and down, then on the B, then 16 on the G, then 14, then 16 with a bend up and down, then 14, then 16 on the D, 14 on the D, 16 on the A, 14, 15, 16, then 14 on the D, 16, and then 14 with vibrato. Okay, so that's the second 4 bars. I'll play it all for you now slowly. Okay, so see there, he adds in a palm mute there. Okay, so and again, so these notes are all come from the F sharp minor pentatonic. Okay, so that's one way to think about it. The other way to think about it is the A major pentatonic, which would look like this. Okay. He's also using some of the kind of the blues notes. And that's the bluesy notes that we're getting in there. So that's the 2, the flat 3, and the 3 from the sort of A major scale. Okay, right, so that's the whole first page, okay? Okay, so now we get to the really tough part. So this is kind of the climax of the solo. There's a flurry of really fast notes, right? Sounds like that. Okay, so this is the part which when I went up and looked online, I saw that not all the tabs for this were completely correct, and some tabs are leaving out some key kind of elements of this. So okay. So so let's go with the first bar, right? It's of the kind of second half of the solo. The first bar looks like this. Okay, so that seems like, whoa, that's a lot of notes. Okay, but what we do is it's actually, we break up any of these long kind of sections or any of these kind of, a large section of fast notes. You gotta just break them into little chunks. So the first, so there's 3 chunks here. The first is 7 notes. Okay. So that is set. So that's on the B, 17, then 14, then 16 on the G, then 14 on the B, then 16 on the G, then 14, then 16 on the D. Okay, so you want to get that chunk first. Okay. Okay, if you notice here, all we're doing is sort of going down, we go like down 2 notes in the major pentatonic, 2 notes in the pentatonic. So you go down 2 notes, then up 1 note, and then down. So you go down 2 notes, up 1 note, then down. Then you go down 4 notes. But you're never skipping any notes in the pentatonic. You're kind of just like walking down, back up, down, up, but you're never skipping, right? So, okay. At that point then we do a skip. right? So instead you would think if we're going up we go to 14, but we don't. We skip to the 16. And this is where the second chunk of notes come. So the second chunk of notes. Okay, so that's 5 notes. So it's starting on the 16 on the G, then 14, then on the D, 16, 14, and then 16 on the A. Okay, so this is our second chunk. Okay, that's the second chunk, right? Then our last chunk is a chunk of 4 notes. Okay, starting 16 on the D. Okay, so that is 16 on the D, then 14, then 16 on the A, and then 14. Okay, so first chunk, second chunk, third chunk. Okay, so whenever you're putting these together, a good idea is to put an accent or put an emphasis on the first note of each chunk. Really just focus on that. That's like the connecting point of each one. So the first note of the first chunk is 17 on the B. Okay, then it's 16 on the G. It's for the second chunk, and then 16 on the D. Okay, so those are the starting notes of each chunk. I'm sorry. Okay, so let me just do that really slowly. Okay, so to see right there, I'm kind of tying everything together so all the notes sound like the same volume. So that's where you want to get eventually. Okay, where it's a flow of notes and they all sound even. At the start, to get there though, what you want to do is actually kind of break them up and put an emphasis on the start of each chunk. So that you play the first note of each chunk louder than the rest, like this. Okay, so that's how to do it. Okay, you're gonna end the very last note of the whole flurry is on the 14 on a D. You're gonna hold that with your first finger, right? Now, this is where we get the second part of the flurry, right? So the second part of the flurry has these slides in it, right? All of a sudden, this was like a kind of pentatonic sequency, up and down, up and down, up and down, kind of descending kind of thing. Now we get a different little kind of figure, a different kind of shape, which it's almost like in triplets. Well, not exactly triplets, but in trees, right? So you go. Okay, so this is where some of the tabs got it wrong. So some of the tabs have written this in like this, as if they're all picked separately, but they're not. There's slides in between to connect them, right? Thankfully, because that actually makes it easier. But okay, so what it is from the 14, this is from the last note of the last note of the last bar. You slide down, you're gonna go 12 on the D, 14 on the A, and then 12. So again, that's like a little group of 3, okay? Right. Then you're gonna slide down to the 11 on the D, then 12 on the A, then 11 on the D, then you slide to the 9. You don't need to strike it, actually. After you slide, you don't need to strike. But then 11 on the A, 9 on the D, then you're going to slide down to 7, don't strike, and then you're going to hit the 9 on the A, 7 on the D, and then then on the D, 9, 7, 9. You're going to hold that note long, and eventually then you're going to bend it. So with a bit of a vibrato. Okay, so that's these. Okay, so they're kind of these groups of trees. Okay, then we get our next little section. So the notes of that, it's going to be 11 on the D, then 9 on the G, slid up to the 11, then you do that again, and then vibrato, 9 on the G, 11 on the D, then 9 slid to the 11 on the G, then 9 on the G, okay, then on the G 9, 9, then on the B 10 to 12 with a slide, and then 10 with a vibrato, then 10, 10, then on the high E 12, 9, then 10, 9, then on the B 12, 12 with a bend. So sorry, that's 2 12s there. First one without a bend, second one with a bend. Then, whilst holding that bend up, you're going to strike the high E string on the 12. Holding it down with the baby finger. Okay, then you'll notice that I'm still holding up this finger. So then I'm going to strike the B string on the 12 with a pre-bend and release. Then 10 on the B, 11 on the G, 10 on the B, then 12 on the B, 10, then 11 on the G, and then 10. Okay, so I'll just go through that whole thing again, kind of slow. Okay, let me do it. So actually the tricky thing with this last bar is just getting the timing of it. I found that a bit tricky. Once we get into it, let me just do that again for you. Okay guys, so that's it. That's the whole solo. It's a really great solo for working on if you want to do some speed training, if you want to get a little bit faster. It's great for expanding your vocabulary of rock guitar. This is more of a major sound. Usually in rock guitar we're used to always playing, you know, like in minor keys with the minor pentatonic. This is more of a major sound. This is the sound of the major bluesy pentatonic. Some of it is related back to B.B. King and that kind of stuff, and then, you know, but anyway, it's just slightly different from some of the usual kind of more minor sounding rock stuff. There's a lot to be learned here about vibratos and about slides, about pan muting, and all those kind of, you know, guitar kind of techniques. But you could spend a lot of time just working on the vibrato in this, you know. Just getting that kind of sound down. Really great. I would suggest to go on, look up the Live and Dangerous version of this song on YouTube, play along and use the playback feature, the speed, kind of the slow down function. Use that, click on the settings and slow it down and play along with the solo at 50% at first and build up the speed. Definitely this little section here, that thing, you know, even myself, like I was really working on that a lot the last couple of weeks to try and work that up to speed, and I'm still I'm only like kind of sort of bordering on kind of being able to nail it. So it is a really good little kind of speed trainer. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the lesson video. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this stuff in the comments below, and thanks for watching. See you next time.